Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm David King.
And I'm Fred Cilbrith.
Welcome to Keeping It Real. Fred, another day.
Yeah.
Well, today, what better topic to talk about than second chances?
Yeah.
You know, because the simple fact that some people don't believe in second chances. Some people feel that they deserve second chances. Well, before we get into detail, what's your take on it?
I mean, what are we talking about here? Are we talking about like friendships?
Oh, we're talking about second chances, so that could be
People being in jail?
I mean, we can
like
talk.
what?
I mean, that's all of that. I mean, second chances. Second chances with life in general, friendships, relationships. Like you said, getting out. I guess getting out of prison and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, second chances are second chances, Dave. It all depends on the person.
Do you feel
honestly.
that people should have a second chance?
Yeah, I do.
I second that because I do too. Because I mean, everybody in life is entitled to mistakes, but there are some folks out there that are like, "Oh well, I can never forgive that person. No, I'm never gonna." And I'm like, nobody's perfect.
No, and you got to be, sometimes, even though when you don't want to be, you don't want to forgive that person, you become the bigger person by forgiving them.
That's very true. That's very true. Sometimes it takes the bigger person to be able to forgive the person, even if the other person was wrong. I mean,
Yeah.
I know in life I messed up a lot of times, and there's people out there that still haven't given me a second chance. I mean, because they forever look at me for what I've done in the past, and not looking at where I'm going and what I've done, since that time.
Yeah.
You have a lot of folks out there, and it's a funny thing that when we opened the show, you mentioned, people that come out of prison. They're the biggest ones. I feel that don't get a second chance in life because they did whatever, they did the crime and they did the time. And I'm not saying all of them, because there's a lot of them that do the crime, do the time, and go back to doing the time and doing more crime.
But that time, you really shouldn't get a second chance, in my opinion.
Well, no, you can get a second chance, but you're getting 10, 12 chances, there's a problem. But if for that person that made a mistake, realized why they did their time or whatever, that they made a mistake and tried to change their life, I feel that, they shouldn't be judged on one mistake. You have, people are like, oh, I don't want to hire that person because of
a record, or because of what they did, or
whatever the situation might have been. I mean, I know, like for me, I was judged. I was hanging out in the streets a lot, and people always said, "You're never gonna graduate. You're never gonna do anything." Like I said, some people still hate me for that. And even my ex-girlfriend, she still doesn't talk to me, not even as a friend, just because of a whole situation that happened. And I'm like, but nobody's perfect,
Hey, but at least you talked to her. At
That's
least
true.
you two talked and actually had a conversation without yelling or trying to fight with each other. That's the way I
That's
look
true.
at
And,
it.
I think you once said it where, you could talk to a person and then see where you stand.
Yep.
And I think when a person with a second chance, it's like, I feel people shouldn't just be like, and a lot of people do this. They'll be like, oh, well, they're not going to give me a chance, so I'm not even going to try. I feel that you got to at least try.
Yeah, but if you haven't talked to that person in 10 years and you hit them up, you talk to them or you hit them up on Facebook or Twitter or wherever you want to go, and they don't talk to you back, like I said, you know where you stand.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So can you say the same thing if it's you did something and family doesn't talk to you? Do you feel that, how you say that you should try to talk to family and give them another chance, or you should just be like, well, they don't want to talk to me, they don't want to talk to me?
I mean, you should, but if they don't respond, then you know where you stand.
Well, that's true, and you can't change how people feel, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's terrible how people will judge you just because of one thing. But check this out. Then when they do something that you supposed to be understanding,
Yeah.
and you supposed to give them a second chance. That's what I don't understand. People want you to give them a second chance, but when you make a mistake, they don't want to give you a second chance.
Right.
I mean, how about you? I mean, I know the viewers out there, they hear a lot about my, my stories and my history or what I gone through to get here. What about yourself?
I mean, I've done things that I'm not proud of. We all make mistakes, but at the end
Especially
of the day,
if we got that girl pregnant that we wasn't trying to be with forever.
Yeah. I mean, I've made mistakes, but at the end of the day, for those, I've been loyal to those who've been there for me, and they know that. So at the end of the day, whoever is upstairs, God, anything, universe as I call it, can't say I'm not trying. They can't say you're not trying either, because you're going out of your way to talk to somebody.
True. I also feel when it comes to second chances, it's like anything else. You get what you put in. You can't say, "Hey, give me a second chance."
No, you got to.
I feel that you do have to prove yourself for a second chance.
Right.
You can't just. You got some people that do that too. Like, okay, well, I deserve a second chance. You don't deserve a second chance if you ain't proving yourself.
It's not really they deserve it. They think they're entitled to it.
Thank you. That's a very better word than I just used. Thank you. You see, folks, that's what happens when you go to college. I mean, you're right. They feel that they're entitled to a second chance, and I feel that you have to earn it. You have to work for it, just like anything else in life. Oh, yeah. You have to work for it, and you have to earn it. I mean, I feel like a lot of times, when it's those people who don't talk to me, that I've worked towards having a second chance. Mm-hmm. I went from being a kid down the street and not passing school to here I am sitting in front of a camera, doing weekly shows of keeping it real, and of course sitting next to you, and we bring this to the people every week. So I feel that's one good thing I'm doing, and I mean, minus all the other stuff that I'm doing.
I mean, you've said it millions of times over. You said it here. You've said it to me personally, privately. We're making a difference, and to hear
well, that's the plan, is to make a difference, and that is my goal, and I wanted to make that difference, but I also realized that to make a difference, I had to start with myself.
It's like, one of the favorite movies that me and you watch all the time is Notorious, right? What do they say at the end of the movie? We can't change the world unless we change ourselves, right?
Yes, I believe, and that's very true, because you can't. For people to give you a second chance, you got to work towards a second chance, and you got to prove that you are deserving of that second chance. You just can't walk out and then I'm going to do the same thing, but hey, I'm going to give them a second chance just because. There's a lot of people that get more than second chances, and that's the whole reason why we're talking about second chances today, because, there's a lot of broken families, there's a lot of broken relationships, there's a lot of broken friendships, and some of it's pity. It's like, I've talked to a person in 30 years because the person stole like my ham sandwich or something, so now we ain't talking 30 years.
Well, that's the thing. You're letting somebody's pride or their pride get in the way of what actually is going on. Don't even get me
started with pride. I mean, and I want to honestly say this, folks, watching at home, us as men, we're the main one.
Yeah.
Pride is our macho man.
Right.
Kind of thing,
But if you let us sit back and think about it and think we screwed up, it's not
even about screwing up. It's not even about screwing up. It's like, if you really sit back and think about where has your pride getting you lately. It's old saying, like, what have you done for me lately? Well, where have your pride gotten you lately? I mean, let's be real. Your pride can make you or break you.
Right. But it can also get you in big trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
But so can your mouth.
Well,
if you say something...
Well, that goes right in with the pride, because if you say something to me, I don't like you, but my pride is telling me to tell you off. Next thing you know, you pull out with a gun.
Yeah, right.
Now my pride just got me shot in the head. And then you're asking the man upstairs, or like you said, or whoever it is that you worship or whatever, for that second chance. And that's why, that's why I said another thing too, or even other things like going back to the whole prison thing. You come out of prison, your goal is to you want to prove to your family and friends you deserve a second chance. Here comes your homie that's still running the street doing his thing and say, yo man, I got some stuff. Now your pride is telling you.
He's like, no, I don't want that.
On one hand, you're telling yourself, I want the second chance. I'm gonna prove to everybody I deserve the second chance. Next thing you know, boom, you messed up your second chance because your pride told you to hang out with that guy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a victim of that. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Folks, I'm a man just like anybody else. You know, having a disability or no disability, my pride sometimes get in the way of my better judgment. You know,
folks, mine too. I'm no saint, but at the end of the day, like I said, I try to be loyal to those who've been there for me.
Well, besides loyal, I also try to do things. If I did something wrong and I want to fix it or want to show people that I'm trying hard to change what happened,
you put in work.
Yeah, I put in work, and that, like I just said, it goes back to what you put in. You know, you can't like the issue. You know, a lot of folks don't maybe not know there was issue a couple years back of me putting myself in the hospital over a situation, which was dumb on my part, but you know, it happens, and a lot of people didn't forgive me for that, and to this day, a lot of people still doesn't forgive me for that, and I went out my way to, you know, try to make amends with those people, and some of those people talk to me, but a lot don't talk to me. But I gave it an effort, you know, like I just said, you get what you put in, and I tried to call everybody that that I made those mistakes to, that hurt their feelings, or scared them, or anything like that. Tried to apologize through phone, text messages, Facebook, Twitter, whatever.
Right.
And unfortunately, I was one of the victims. Like, I didn't always get a second chance. I felt like I got a second chance just being able to get my life back on track, and even doing this, what we're doing right here.
Yep.
Sitting in front of this camera. I mean, that's what made me like, okay, understand that, wow, nobody's going to give you a second chance. You had to go out and you got to work for it. You got to work, and you got to work, and you got to work. And sometimes in life, I'll be honest, you're not going to get a second chance. Sometimes you're going to get that one chance.
It's like with any girl, man.
Well,
you get that one shot, that one impression to make that impression. And
we talk a lot about second chances, but sometimes in life, besides people, sometimes in life you just don't get second chances or opportunities. Yeah. It's like, hey, you get this one shot, and you got to make the most of that one shot. And, I now, after getting a second chance from those who did give me a second chance, and for all those who did, thank you. And all those who didn't, that's your loss. Because, hey, you ain't perfect, and neither am I. You're just the idiot that didn't want to give, that want to look at me differently like you're perfect. Yes, I said that on TV because this is keeping it real, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. But I approach life with everything as you get that one shot. And even if you fail, you got to give it everything you got. You got to give it 110% that you got. I say it a lot of times, all of us, we watch TV, and all the viewers out there, they watch TV.
Yeah, they do.
It's like World Series. It's like NBA Finals. It's like the Super Bowl. It's like, well, if you're like me, you're a wrestling fan, it's like WrestleMania. You get that one shot. You get that
one shot at the title.
Well, yes. All sports have that in common, the title. No matter what your profession is of sports, you get the title. Well, you get that one shot at the title. You are not guaranteed that you're going to get that shot again. Mayweather loses his title. He's not guaranteed he's going to come out of this fight able to have enough to fight to have a rematch. And you go to you're a baseball guy. Yeah. You go to the World Series. How many teams go right back to the World Series every year?
Very, very, very few.
Exactly. So you get that one shot. Just like with life, you have to just go in it with everything you got and leave all the cards on the table, because this is it. Or at least you got to approach it with that matter of, this is it.
And also, if you fail, folks, at least you can say, okay, this is the experience I had. I'm learning from this. I'm taking bits and pieces from what I experienced, and you're applying it to the next experience that you're having.
Yes. Well, definitely, it's a learning experience, even when you fail.
Life is a learning experience.
Oh, I mean, that's without question. your success and your failures. Your first chance, second chance, and even those who get 18 chances. Their life, their experiences, and I'm one of those people that when I do fail, I try to see what did I do to fail? What can I do to improve? And if there is a chance for a second chance, what can I do so when I get that second chance, that I succeed this time? I succeed towards my friends, I succeed towards family, and I succeed towards my goals and in life, as you just said in general, because life is hard to succeed as well.
Yeah.
Beyond just friends and family, just succeeding in life, just working a 9-to-5 job is hard to succeed.
Either that or trying to make a way for yourself or trying to figure out what career you want. That's what college is for.
And even those who come out of college, I mean, you're going from working at a Rite Aid store to working, now I want a career.
Yeah, but you always said to me, college is important.
It is.
But sometimes they'll take the guy that's got the experience over the guy that's got the degree.
Right. Yes.
Because you put more work in with the experience than you do with the degree.
Well, yeah, because... Okay.
Not saying the degree is not bad. It is.
No, the degree is a very good thing to have, and anybody that's trying to get one, I encourage you to continue getting one. But when you're talking about that, you have the fact is that you get a degree, you're a lot higher educated than a person with a high school diploma. Yeah. You get a master's, you're a lot higher than a regular degree. They're all ranking levels. Yeah. You get a certificate from your 8th grade elementary, you're higher than a person that ain't never went to school in their life. Because there are some countries that they don't even go to school. So you're higher than that right there. You get a high school diploma, you're higher than what you was when you graduated from elementary school. But you get like you said, then a degree and everything else. And you're higher than a person that don't get a high school diploma. A person with just high school diploma is higher than a person who don't have a high school education.
Yeah.
But the reason why I said it's about the experience and that you brought up is because what do all of those things have in common? Give you a little quiz here, you're the college guy here. What does all those things have in common?
Connections.
No. What is the one thing that they're all?
It's all based on school.
Nope, they're all a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And it's not the paper that's going to make your career. It's about how much you know and how much work you put in. Because you can graduate with a master's, and if you ain't willing to work hard, then you're going to be working at a Stop and Shop just like everybody else.
Yeah.
Just because you have a degree or anything like that, you're not, like you said earlier, you're not entitled to a career.
Yeah.
You still have to earn it. You still have to work for it. Every step that you take, you have to earn it. You earned it to get through high school. You earned it to get through college, but you also have to earn it to get that job, and you have to earn it to get the career.
Yeah.
There is no freebies in life.
No,
and I know a lot of people wait for that. They look to that. It's eventually gonna come to me, folks. I'm here to tell you from experience. Nothing just comes to you. If you ain't willing to go out and get it, it ain't gonna come to you. And yes, Fred, I know what you're thinking. That goes with relationships too.
Yeah, it does.
Because even though people say, "Oh, you should wait for the right one," yeah, you could. But if you ain't willing to try to talk to that person when that person comes to you, then it ain't never gonna happen.
I'm
just saying.
Yeah.
If a person comes up, yes, you shouldn't rush it. Yeah. But if that person wants to get to know you, if you don't talk to them, then they're gonna move on, and you just lost your chance. Because you didn't put in the work to get to know them back.
To be honest with you, Dave, I was at school the other day, and I was talking to a girl, and she was like, told her how I felt, and she was like, I kind of wish you told me sooner.
You see it? See it, folks?
See?
Prime example right here. You asked her, but if you would ask her sooner, who knows, you might have had a chance. Right. But you can't let that get you down. And just like we just said, it's a learning experience.
It is.
And just like with life, you fail, so now what can I do to get better?
Talk to them quicker.
And what have you learned from the situation?
Be able to present yourself better.
Exactly. And
get out of your box, because you stay in that box, it's not going to happen.
The one thing I learned, don't worry so much about failing.
No.
Just worried about going in there trying your best, knowing that you gave it all. So when you come back through the dugout, you come back through the curtain, you come back with anything, you know that you gave it the best shot. And I always say this all the time: you have everything to gain and nothing to lose, because the simple fact is, if you succeed, you just added another achievement to your belt and to your goals. And if you failed, you tried and you learned something and you got some new experience that you never had before.
Yep.
So I say that a lot.
I mean, just doing the show has brought me out more socially. We were going around school yesterday trying to tell people about the newspaper at school and stuff. So even that, being here, doing the show is like broke me out of being sociable and whatnot.
Well, I'm glad that this is able to help you, progress on being more sociable. But just like with school, you didn't put in work in school, you wouldn't be where you're at. Folks, Fred here, my co-host, he goes to school and he puts in hard work, and I can't wait to when you're gonna graduate from school. I can't wait to actually see you graduate from me. And that's another thing too. I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat it. I don't go to college, and college is not for everybody. I was not that lucky to have that good academic skills to succeed in college, but I am good at succeeding in life. And there's some folks out there the same thing, saying, well, hey, these guys are college guys. No, one of us is,
No, but one of us knows how to survive.
But together is the perfect formula that we all need in life.
Yeah.
You need knowledge, but you need common sense. I mean, and there's a lot of people out there. Not everybody's going to go to college. And I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, everybody's going to go to college and be like schools and lie and say everybody's college ready. Not everybody's going to come out of high school going to college. Not everybody's going to be college ready. But we all got to be life ready.
Yeah.
And
when you're coming out of high school, you got to make that transition.
Oh, most definitely.
You got to make
even
that
college.
transition.
The one thing that we got in common, that we all got to make the transition from being a kid to an adult.
Right.
Because no matter how you slice the cheese, no matter how you slice it, we all got to be adults.
Oh, yeah.
One way or another, male, female, we all got to become adults eventually one day. And I'm saying this, if you're 18, if you're 25 or 30 certain years old, we all got to make that transition. Right? You're in college now, you're not in college, because at the end of the day, all we're gonna have is ourselves to take care of ourselves. You may have some friends, you may have some family, but it's gonna be up to you to do what you got to do for you.
And to add to that, I'm telling the folks over here on watching the show that you could always learn something from anything. There's nothing. Every day is a learning experience. You could set goals for yourself and achieve those goals in like 3-4 years.
And I'm a strong learner from learning from those who've been there.
Oh yeah.
With certain situations.
Because then you gain the experience.
At my job that I work at, I learned from a lot of the old guys. Like one of my good friends, Joe Seapod. He's 79, 80 years old. But he's one of the veterans there, and we have a really, really good chemistry. And he always talks to me, and he always tells me, to stay on the right track, and he's always kind of motivating me. Call him like, my grandfather, because he reminds me of my grandfather, and he's always sneaking me chocolate bars, but but nonetheless, that's what I'm talking about. It's a learning experience,
And when it comes to the career, it's all about putting in the work, but also about making connections. Just being sociable, not even on a business sense. Just making connection with the right people.
Oh, most definitely. And then going back to what we're talking about today of second chances. Second chance also has something to do with common sense.
Yeah.
I mean, besides feeling that you're entitled to, let's have common sense about what you're doing first too.
Yeah.
Let's think about we don't in life. We don't think about that. We don't think about what we do before we do. A lot of times, we kind of just do it. Spare the moment, and whatever
think
happens,
about it later.
Yeah, whatever happens, happens. Here's the problem with that whole situation. What you do has consequences.
Yeah.
It's either going to make your second chance or break it. you know you're not supposed to do it, don't do it. You know, I know. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and try to play saint. Life is hard. It's hard to stay on task. It's hard to stick to your goals because so many things happen in between that goal.
I mean, I'm gonna keep it real about it.
Go ahead.
My biggest thing is two things: time management. Yes, folks. In college, you need to be time management with anything in life.
That's life. You have to be time management because the landlord ain't waiting now 2-3 years before you get the rent money.
Yeah. That and I procrastinate some of the time, but who doesn't?
Well, I mean, everybody has their moments where they get lazy or they procrastinate, but and there's nothing wrong with that. The point is, there's something wrong when that becomes you in general.
Yeah.
You know, but you're saying with deadlines, in life, everything has a deadline.
Oh yeah.
There's a starting point and there's an ending point. You know, the problem is
we don't know when the ending point is.
Oh well, I don't think anybody wants to know offhand when the ending point is.
Yeah.
Because the ending point to me is when you're dead. That's the ending point, okay? That's the ending point. When you don't wake up anymore, that's the ending point. You know, but the starting point is every day that you do wake up. Because every day you wake up, it's a new day. Because let's think about this. Can you change what happened yesterday? No, you can't.
No, you can't.
Can you change what happened before we got here?
Nope.
No, you can't. Only thing we can do at this point right now and here on in is go forward. Now, let's flip it. Do we know what's coming next?
No.
No, you don't. You don't know what's going to happen when we leave here today. You don't know what...
I don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow. I can have an inkling, but until tomorrow hits, I ain't going to know nothing.
Bingo. Until you wake up tomorrow, you don't know what's going to happen. You know, and that's why I try to... Anything that I've done that I need to fix, I try to fix it every day. And then I try to improve on it. And then I try to stay on task. And I try not to get involved with things that are going to throw me off task, like drugs and all that kind of stuff. I've even quit smoking, you know, at the same time. So that's a plus.
Well, that's good. You should.
You know, we're getting towards the end of our show. While we're at it, I want to take this time to send my condolences out to one of my coworkers, Chris Smith, who is one of my managers at my job. His father passed away
Sorry to hear that, Dave.
on, I believe, this past weekend. My heart goes out to him and his family. And Chris, let you know, we're all co-workers and we all feel for you. And I wish only the best for you and your family. And if you ever need somebody to talk to, I'm always, willing to listen. Even if I can't fix the problem, I'm always willing to listen. And if you need a friend, I'm always here. Even though you are my manager, you're also a friend. So my heart goes out to you with that. Freddie, is there anything you want to say before we wrap up the show here?
Well, guys, if you're going to give somebody a second chance, make sure they're a good person. And make sure they're willing to put forth the effort that they need to in order to be given that chance.
Yeah, exactly. Before you give a second chance, make sure they're worthy of that second chance so you don't waste their time or your own time.
Yeah.
So, with that said, I'm David King.
I'm Fred Cilbrith.
You've been watching Keeping It Real. See you next week.
See you guys.